Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another Coach's Corner. This time we are going to be sitting down with the head ball coach from the Lakeside Dragons. It is second year head Lakeside Dragons coach Terry Henton. Terry, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's been a great year. Getting ready for football. I can't believe fall is here already. I'm not going to complain because God knows this is my favorite season for a couple reasons, football, and I'm already sick of the heat. I know most of you guys aren't, but I am. We're here with you tonight, Coach. For the folks here on YSN, as this is going to run across the network, give them a little introduction to Terry Henton and how long you've been coaching.
I'm Terry Henton, head football coach at Lakeside High School. Been coaching there as head coach for 2 seasons, as Sammy mentioned earlier. I've been coaching forever. I can't say forever, since about 2003, by the time I started coaching. I've coached on all levels of football. I'm a track coach at heart. That was my first love before I became a football coach. I just like speed, so that's where I've been. But I've tried to coach everything. I've tried to coach baseball, golf, whatever a kid is trying to do. So I'm 100% kid oriented, and that's where you're gonna find me. So if I'm not coaching, I'm still around them. That's my cheat, I guess I say.
So, you've been coaching in the area for quite some time already, but, the last couple jobs that you've been at, offensive coordinator over at Edgewood during I'll call it an offensive explosion, with some very talented quarterbacks, of course, the all-time record holder in Tony Hall. And then you get a chance to go back to, I'm going to call it your alma mater. I know you're an Ashtabula Panther, but you get to go back to the version of Ashtabula that exists today, and you take that opportunity. Last year, obviously being your first year, and we did shows throughout the year, and me and you have known each other for like 20 years, so we've talked a bunch about this. But Coach, after year one, heading into year two, what were your biggest takeaways from that first year as the guy that the paper was going to have to write about?
Like, you have to live what you preach. I'm always telling our kids to, for instance, be where your feet are, own who you are, own the situation. And I think that coming away from that season, I have to own my situations, and I have to own where my feet are. I have to be where my feet are. And that's what slowed me down over the winter. I recentered myself and had to figure out that, hey, I can't live in this roof mentality. I got to live in the foundation mentality. So I have to, again, own who we are. This is exactly where we are. I can't live, like I said, I'm not a roofer. I'm a bricklayer. So we just got to keep building these bricks, and I think that saved me from trying to think of the whole picture, the big picture, and think that I got this magic pill and then things can work. It's like, no, just work is the separator. Work is the thing. Work is the difference maker. Talent meets talent. Work is a separator. So I just had to get back to the work myself, learning how to become a better coach, not just a better Lakeside coach, or not just a better guy here, but overall. So the wintertime, we spent a lot of time going to coaching clinics everywhere. We paid the money to join Glazier clinics. We went to 3 or 4 different Glazier clinics. We went to the Browns clinic, went to Ashland University's clinic. We just tried our best to learn as much as we could, just to become better coaches for our kids. And that's where I had to become. Like, you never know enough. And once you become a head coach, you realize you don't know jack.
You talked about going to the coaching clinics and trying to improve your coaching set and your prowess, but you've got a coaching staff that is very, very involved. You guys, you weren't going to those coaching clinics alone. Let's talk about some of these coaches that are coming and going to be on your staff this year.
Well, my defensive coordinator is Demetrius Baker. He's been with me for probably about the last 6 years, I would say 7 years maybe. Um, Great guy. He's running our defense. Lakeside grad as well himself. Our offensive defensive line coach is Tyler Scalise. Lakeside grad as well. He's a young coach. He's learned a lot. He has passion. He's one of the guys that um, I don't think we would tick the way we tick without him because of how trustworthy he is to the kids. You know, the kids believe in him. He's the I don't want to call him a mother hen because he's not, but you know, what I mean, he's the guy who the kids aren't afraid to come and ask a question to, and they know he's going to give them a real answer, and he's going to teach them something. So I couldn't do a lot. I couldn't do what I do without him. We have a new coach on the staff, Cecil Monroe, teacher in the school, great guy from Youngstown area, understands life. He's a disciplinarian. He does the things that we need him to do at practice. He's a student of the game. You know, he was a Division I basketball player. I went to Youngstown State out of college, out of high school. But he's just a student of the game. Like no matter what we're doing, he's always taking notes, and that impresses me. Since January, you know, he's always has a notebook with him and always writes something down. So I love having him around. We have Solomon Thomas, offensive defensive line coach, defense coordinator style. He's on both levels. Great guy. He's learning the defense spectacularly because we can tell by the ninth graders that we have now that it wasn't a huge learning curve for them to do what we needed them to do when he's at the eighth grade level. And along with them, just at the junior high staff, we also have, you know, the leader, Kevin Crockett's been there. Like, his name is pronounced Kevin Crockett, but it's spelled Lakeside. So,
Yeah.
That's my man. He's always been over there. And we just Marcus Parker, and we have actually and a guy who just graduated last year has just joined the staff, Matt Erickson. That's his brother. That's his little brother. Chris Erickson has joined the staff, and we can go all the way down to the youth because we've tried to establish one side of town, one language. You know what I mean? One heartbeat. One. So like we've had these coaching clinics when we came back from the coaching clinics with our youth, with our eighth graders, 7th and 8th grade, and with our coaching staff. So we could start speaking the same language throughout the whole, from 5 years old to 18, 19. We want you to speak the same language. So I can go on about those guys, but I'll be here all night because I love the youth league.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about the youth too, because I've talked to every coach so far about this, but talk about how important it is, for those youth guys to, not the coaches maybe, but the players to really, know your face and have, these players be accessible to them, and how that kind of changes the culture and in the long run increases the numbers.
No, I think it's huge. Like when I was a kid, my hero wasn't in the NFL. My hero was Tony Fleming. He was number 20 for the Ashtabula Panthers. When I was growing up, that's who I wanted to be. Maybe because we didn't have all these cable channels that I didn't see everybody that they see. But my story is that my favorite player was an Ashtabula Panther, and I was playing youth football. And what he did on the football field, I was trying to do on the sidelines. Like that's what we did as kids. And I know there's some kids are doing the same thing when they see the likes of Devin Miller when he walks past, or Tyree Anderson, Chris McKeach, and Aaron Artman. When they walk by, they have a presence. And these kids are looking at them like, I want to be like that one day. And if we don't always bring that bridge together, then it won't happen. So I truly believe in showing my face down there. I believe in letting the coaches know, the adults know that I'm here, and at the same time, high-fiving the little kids, just to know that I'm not a monster. Like I'm different than your coaches. I promise you that. I love you the same, but when you come to me, there'll be an expectation of you. But right now, I have no expectation of you. I love you. I want you to grow. I'm here to celebrate you. I'm not here to browbeat you. You know, when you get up to ninth grade, there might be a little a different guy, but until then, you always gonna know that you got Coach Hinton up here who really, really loves you, man, and wants you to be great.
Yeah, they got a couple years before you tell them to get them chopping. That's for sure. So you got to take advantage of those years. You had mentioned a couple names already, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the Lakeside Dragons this year that are going to really kind of jump off the page. The guys who people are going to be watching. I mean, I think it's well known for anybody who has watched Lakeside or knows Ashtabula County football. You've got a workhorse in a guy like Devin Miller, but there's some guys that are going to come out this year, and maybe even on the defensive side with a guy like Tyree Anderson. But there's some guys who are going to be coming out this year that are really going to step out, stick out. And I got a chance to see some of it at the combine, and you got some guys.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're young, very young, but the guys that we have, they want to be great. It's not a matter of me pushing them. It's the greatest compliment is, hey, coach, man, I just saw so-and-so at the gym. Hey, coach, I just saw so-and-so at the gym. I saw so-and-so running. I saw so-and-so, whatever. Like, it's not my practice that's going to make you great. It's your practice that's going to make you great. I can only make you good for what I want you to do. But those guys who are going out and doing the extra work, that I preach 7%ers. And if you look like, or you act like, or you talk like, or you present yourself like anyone around here, you're not a 7%er. And I'm not downing anyone around here, but become a 7%er to get a scholarship to go off to college. Like you have to be something special. There's a few special guys around here. I'm not downing anybody. There's some guys who are worthy of $50,000 a year on a scholarship. But like, that's what I'm asking my guys. Are you worth $250,000? Yes or no? And there's no middle ground. Are you worth $250,000? I'm not telling you, are you worth $250,000 to O State and Michigan, Georgia, USC? I'm telling you, are you worth $250,000? Because Ashland and Findlay and Tiffin and Mercyhurst and all these schools are still $50,000. So are you worth that? And if you are, somebody in the suit is going to come and give you this money, but you have to be different than everybody. So a guy like Devin is at the gym constantly. A guy like Aaron Artman is pushing weight. He was I think he wrestled 170 something, and now he's over 200. Chris McKeechin is just a freak of nature. I love the kid. I tease him every day, and he takes it. That's what I love most about him. We have Tyree Anderson, who's just, I've known Tyree since the day he was born. Like, and he gained a lot of weight. He's gotten taller. He's gotten bigger. And Tyree's going to be all over the field. Big 6, not little 6.
Yeah, big 6, not little 6. He likes to remind me of that too.
He's a load. And then I got some young guys. Jorge is an amazing kid. He's the most competitive kid on the team. Like, there's nobody who gets to level 10 faster than Jorge. I love that. Davion Gaines is a special human being, fast as lightning. I told him I'm not calling him Day Day anymore. He's not allowed to be called anymore. By me anyway. So I gave him a new name. So I told him Day Day is like an uncle that you don't want to introduce to your friends. So we're gonna stop calling you that. I love you for it. Hayden Newsom is another guy that's showing up. Tristan Westerfield is a quiet storm. I can go on and on about all these kids' names, and then I would be mad that I missed one. So I guess I'll stop calling out their names. But I'm just impressed by the fact that we're so young, and they're still wanting to get better and doing the things to get better. That's about it.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm not giving away Lakeside State secrets right now, but I think we're far enough along in the season where I can put this out. But the quarterback, you graduated your quarterback last year, who just happened to be a couple yards short of the all-time school record. And you've got a guy who's got some big shoes coming in to fill that in a young man by the name of JJ Murphy now. This kid, I'll be honest with you, I got a chance to interview him last year. And when I went to your first practice and saw him this year, I didn't recognize him as the same human being. Talk about his growth, not only physically, but as a football player.
JJ is my man. Like, I didn't mention his name almost on purpose because I refuse to put pressure on him, because the world is going to bring a lot of pressure to him. So I put pressure to him when we're in private. Outside of there, he's the greatest kid on earth to me. So that being said, last year JJ was a 5'6" JV tackle, and now he's a 6-foot varsity quarterback. Just over a small period of time, over a few months, he's grown that much, and there's still a lot more growth to go. Because you can just see how big his feet are still, and how big his hands are still. He still has more to grow. And that's just physically, but mentally every day he surprises me, and he grows, and he takes ownership. And he takes ownership of his mistakes before his celebrations. Like, he still wants acknowledgement. He still wants to be coached, even when he throws a 40-yard touchdown. He looks back and said, was that the right choice? Not let's go run down this field and celebrate. Like, he's looking back to say, I made that read. Was that the right read? Like, he wants to make the right choice. And I think he's ahead of his time when it comes to reading a defense. Like, I don't know what he was doing at home time in life. His grandfather, his dad, his uncles, somebody was teaching this young man some football, because he understands what he's looking for, and he understands how things are going to get open. He understands the run game. He understands a lot for being a quarterback for 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. It's going to be interesting to watch the progression. It's one of my favorite parts of doing this, actually, is watching the progression, not just in one team, but across the board. But, you keep your eyes on these young guys who are coming up. But, I would probably be remiss if I kind of overlooked the fact that Lakeside, obviously up against some different situations than I would probably say any other school in the state right now. In that these kids are, with the damage to the roof and all these movings around, and, shout out to the administration. I think they did a phenomenal job of making sure kids missed an absolute minimum of school. But, there's still something different there where football gets to be their normal high school part of life. Talk about how much that means to these kids and how that's going to play a part.
To be honest with you, I have to give credit where credit is due. Like, you and I had that conversation. And it just struck a lightning bolt within me and that's what we've talked about since. Like, hey guys, like, your only consistent thing in your life right now is this 100-yard football field. It's since you were 5 years old, it's been 120 yards long and 53 yards wide. There's nothing more consistent. So when life gives you whatever it's giving you, like, you can come back to this thing and it's always going to remain the same. And what you give it is going to give right back to you. And we've lived that since then. And I don't take away that life is crazy. Like, these are the same kids who had to sit at home for COVID,
Yeah.
and then their roof fell in 2 years later. Like what consistency do they have in their education, like what they're chasing, because that comes first. Like, you're gonna be Sammy Torres a lot longer than you're gonna be Sammy Torres, the football player. So this education that they're getting, like, it takes a lot more self-dedication and self-preservation than it ever has before, because you have to get past all of the easy excuses that are in your way. I'm in an elementary school. The drinking fountain is lower. The urinal is lower. I'm on this all these little kids are around me. My school, I can't play an indoor sport at my school. All these things, you have so many built-in excuses for yourself, and you have to be able to rise yourself above those things and still keep rocking. And I commend them for it, and I never take that for granted. But at the same time, I always tell them that you still got to go to work. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, the guy who got his leg shot off in the war, he still had to get out of the battlefield. So you still have to do what you have to do, and our guys are starting. I can't say starting. I'm starting to realize. I won't put it on them. I'm starting to realize that they had it in them all this time, and it's my duty to bring it out of them.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the things is, I think it's a benefit for you as a coach and for these players, because, you know, football is full of times where adversity strikes. Even the best football teams in the world have been down in a game, and nothing you're going to see on that field is harder than what you've already overcome. So, you know, it's something that they've already got it in them, and you, coach, at recognizing, I just got to pull it out of you, and I've got all the belief in the world that you will absolutely do it. And when we talk about adversity, we got to talk about this CVC Lake division, which has become one of the more difficult divisions in the area. The CVC, obviously, one of the biggest. It may be the biggest conference in all of Ohio, but this division is absolutely jam-packed with super talented teams. Let's talk a little bit about this schedule this year. You know, big time. You know, with that CVC Lake, you're from the same kind of era I was, where NEC football was king, and this is CVC, but with NEC seasoning on it.
There you go. Yeah.
So what's it going to be like getting ready to go against these teams every year, and year two now?
It's a privilege to go against a lot of these coaches, you know, especially the ones who've been around for a long time. Also going against Battle of the Bridge, going against one of my best friends, a good friend of mine. You know, like all those things are such a welcoming to me. I learn, you know, now I have film on me playing you as a head coach, not me as just an offense coordinator. I can prepare more. Obviously, you can prepare for me more. So it's a chess match, and I enjoy it. But at the same time, I don't put week 5 in front of week 4 or week 3 in front of week 1. I don't have anybody on my mind but East Lake North. So
yeah,
which East Lake North is now part of the CVC, so they're just not a part of our division. But you know, like that's all I'm thinking about. We have scrimmages, but they're just for me to prepare for East Lake North.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun season. I can't wait to see how this goes. There's you know, the media guy in me loves the stories, and the stories just seem to pop themselves out this year. It's the easiest thing in the world for me. But you know, we fall is upon us. Tomorrow we start the statewide mandated. You know, it's time to get them clipped in and ready to go. But you know, Coach, not talking wins and losses, but at the end of the year, whether it's 10 weeks or my hope 15 weeks, you know, what's going to determine a successful season for you?
That's a great question, but I want to say, like, there's so many things. Like, I guess you got to ask me in week 11, week 16, because only reason I say that is because there's so many. Like right now, I'm happier now than I was in May, you know, so everything's going to change by the end of the season. What makes me happy, because the expectations are growing. Before, you know, I was afraid because we were just so young. Like, tell your story, like which is scary. Like I'd come to practice and I'm coming straight from work, and when I pull down the hill, Sammy, I'd get instantly mad because I'd be like, man, there's nobody at practice. There's only 3 cars in the driveway. And I pull in and I come into the locker room, but there's 7 bikes and there's a school. Oh my gosh, like we're just young. Like nobody has a car, you know. And so I had to, you know, just that alone has changed. So now I'm ecstatic that we have kids no matter where you live, Lakeside is far.
It is.
Not driving. So I'm ecstatic that I have guys who are walking to practice. I got guys who are riding scooters to practice. I have guys who are finding a bike to ride to practice. I have guys who are showing up 2 hours before practice just to figure out what they need to do to get better. Like, so when you ask me that question, what's the win? I've already won a lot of things, like, because our job right now is to raise the basement. You know, it's not about raising the roof. It's about raising the basement, and our basement is 10 stories higher than it was in January. So that's what I'm happy about. And then, like, again, talking about JJ, I'm ecstatic that he came from a kid who had never thrown a spiral, who had never thrown a pass outside of practice, who were going against schools who are national names. When we went to Erie, when we went to Ashland, when we faced just the other day, like, the kid has grown leaps and bounds. So I can talk about his growth. I can talk about what I think Devin Miller is going to do. I can talk about what I feel like Chris McKeechin is worthy of doing. I put it all together. Like, does it come to 5 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 1 win? Like you said, I don't know. And it doesn't, that, I guess right now, I'm saying that it doesn't matter.
That's why I do this in the preseason, Coach.
But every Friday, you know, I mean, you're fully invested. I don't want anything else but to win Monday through Thursday. Actually, Saturday through Thursday. All I'm thinking about is how can we find more grass against this football team than they can find against us. That's just my mentality. I'm thinking of how to beat the team. I'm not thinking about how can we not lose bad. That's just never been my mentality. Like, and I feel like I got enough dogs in my football team that whatever fight we get into, we got some bite. So I trust my guys. I love my guys, and they know. I've asked them to follow me and believe in me and believe in this process. A lot of your friends left to go to other places, and we don't fault them for that whatsoever. You feel like that was the best place for you. Your parents felt like that was the best place for you. Then we don't fault you. We still got love for you. But on Friday nights, we just don't like you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you know, the adage goes, Coach, that speed kills, and Lakeside looks lethal because you guys have all kinds of speed, all kinds of talent. It's going to be a very, very fun season. I can't wait for it to get here. I feel like I've been waiting. It's like Christmas for me. We're going to get that East Lake North game is coming before anybody is ready for it. It's going to be a fun one, but I did want to tell you, thank you for sitting down tonight with us. Good luck on the season. We will be talking numerous times throughout the year. We'll go for there. So thank you so much for sitting down for this Coach's Corner, Coach.
Appreciate you. Go Dragons.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network.